Welcome back. This week we are going to finish our radial word design. So part 2 is going to be adding shading or color to finalize our drawing. You can see 2 examples here. If you only have pencil at home, that's perfectly fine. It turns out just as cool if you shade using different values. And for color, you can use any medium, color pencil, crayon, marker, paint, whatever you have and you want to use, you may use. So let's watch a short video to see some of the options that you have when adding color to your image. All right, so part 2 is the fun part in my opinion. This is where we get to make it come to life. So if you remember the ones that I showed you last week, we had this one which was done in crayon. We had this one done in colored pencil. Try to get it so you can't see the glare. And then this one was done in graphite pencil with just shading. So I'm going to show you some different ways that you can do this, and you can combine materials, or you can choose just one of the mediums that you have at your house and make it work with that. So as you can see here, I've started coloring this one. I want you to try a couple different things. I want you to work on your skills with coloring, and I want you to think about how you can use the different mediums to create value changes, how you can create fades from one color to a next, and how you might even be able to add texture into your image. So if you look here, what I've done is I've started by coloring the inside of this section with a darker purple, and then as I got to the outside, basically what I'm doing is I'm just blending from one color to the next. And the way that I'm doing that, you can do this with color pencil or crayon. Markers doesn't work as well because they don't blend as well. But you want to try to get those colors to blend out with using a little bit of pressure and overlapping. So you can notice that I'm just kind of playing with this. And all I'm doing in this area outside that's not touching anything, I'm just coloring it. But then when I get to that one section, I want to make sure I'm trying to blend it to where I'm getting them to mix a little bit in between so it doesn't look like 2 separate areas. Now, if I want to create contrast, I want to think about how I might use a variety of colors. So on the inside here, I just used a cool color. I'm going to use a warm color. And I'm going to start by coloring the area yellow. And if you notice, kind of leaving the outside area a little bit, and I'm going to come back in. I'm just going to get that outside edge with orange. And this is where you're kind of playing with that color mixing. And I'm also going to try to, in this section, show you what it means to add a little bit of texture. So if you notice in my yellow, I didn't cover the whole area. I'm now going to come from this area, from the outside. The yellow came from the inside. Now I'm taking the orange and I'm creating almost radial lines coming back in to the center from that outside area that I outlined. And then I'm just going to kind of shade it. And again, this is me experimenting and kind of playing with color. Anytime you're not sure, you can always test something out on here and see how it turns out. And if you don't like it, then that's how you realize that you don't want to do it. So I, again, kind of just coming around now. And I'm going to come back over with my yellow and just see what happens. So you can kind of see I was able to get that texture of leaving those lines to where you could kind of see them coming together, but they're still independent of each other. All right, so in this next big section, I'm actually going to switch so you can kind of see what it looks like to work with pencil. So if I'm shading with a pencil, just like with color pencil or crayon, the harder I push down, the darker value I get, and the lighter I push, the lighter value I get. So I'm going to start on the edge, and when I'm doing this, I'm almost using the side of my pencil to shade. And what I'm doing is I'm basically slowly picking my pencil up off of the paper as I color. I'm getting lighter pressure and lighter pressure and lighter pressure. And then I'm going to go the opposite way over here. And then I'm going to keep that same pattern. So I like the idea of keeping patterns. So whatever I do in one area, I'm going to do the same in that same area across that project. So same thing. And then the main thing I want to show you here is how you would blend these together. If you just use your finger to smudge a little bit, you'll notice that you're picking up some of the graphite onto your finger. So you don't want to do it too much, but just to create that smooth transition from one to the next. So that would be how you would do the graphite. It looks weird in the light, but that's how you can see that. Now, if I want to, again, if I'm thinking about contrast, I might want to pick colors that go well together, but that have that impact to where you can see the very, very big difference between the two colors. So see how that kind of stands out now when I'm doing it. Now, if you don't like crayon because you're not able to get as neat, you have a couple other options. You can use markers. And again, whatever you have at home, I want you to kind of play with. So with markers, you just want to be really neat with your lines. And again, there's no these fold lines are not divisions. You want it to continue all the way around. And you want to either do all of these the same or create a pattern where it would go one color then another. So you can see how I'm kind of looking at that. Then if you think about color pencil, you have a lot of ability to mix and blend with color pencil. I'm going to flip over to my other project so you can kind of see it. So if I were creating a pattern, maybe here, I would color this heart purple and skip one and color the opposite purple. And then maybe pick a pink. And then because I picked these two colors out here, I want to make sure that I pick something that's going to create contrast. Now, I'm going to end up coloring that color pencil, which will add contrast in and of itself because they're two different mediums. So if I picked pink and purple, I'm going to go ahead with a yellow and a yellow greenish kind of color. And I'm going to, just like I did with the pencil, I'm going to kind of play with value. So on the outside, I'm pushing harder and I'm getting that more intense color. And then on the inside, I'm going to push harder on this side. And then have it start to come together. So you can kind of see how I'm changing my pressure and I'm blending those colors. So I want you to be really creative. I want you to make these look awesome. Think about your color choices, think about what supplies you're gonna use, and just be creative, be amazing. Good luck, and I can't wait to see the end results.